everybody. This is the Badger, and you're listening to West Loves East Radio interviews and podcasts. And with us today is Sean, Bowe, and Shin from Heaven's Dust. Hi, guys.
Hey, good to be here.
Hey, how's it going?
So glad you both could join me today. Let's get started with introductions. Sean, you're new to all of our listeners. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I am a singer-songwriter, producer. Lately I've been working a lot in Japanese music with Shin and with Miyavi, with Sexy Zone, which is an idol group in Japan as well. And yeah, so I'm just trying to expand as much as I can here, and I'm happy to be on the podcast and talk today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Shin, go ahead and reintroduce yourself to our audience. You were recently on interview and podcast with us with guys. Now you're back with Sean. You guys have a brand new single coming out.
Well, I'm the vocalist of Heaven's Dust, where we do a metal band. We mix it with Japanese traditional instruments like wadaiko, Japanese flute, and everything. But after the COVID thing started, our band kind of really stopped. So I started making my solo music for the first time, putting a lot of guests in. And this time, Sean's really good friends. We've been drinking together in Japan. He's been doing really good. We decided to do some collaboration together.
That's awesome. And we love new music here. A little bit of background about our station, Sean. If you don't know, we are 6 international stations. We're based out of Canada. We're produced out of Washington. And we're one of the few that fuses and combines together Asian language music with American music.
Oh, wow.
So what took you to Japan, Sean?
Like I mentioned before, actually Miyavi. So, always had an interest in Japan. I took Japanese for 3 years in high school. I grew my parents tried to show me Disney movies and things like that when I was a kid. And the only movies I would watch is these subtitled Godzilla movies that my aunt brought over. And so, yeah, I always had an interest in Japan. But to be honest, I just never had the money to get there. So during songwriting, I came across Miyavi. He was working with a friend of mine, Lenny Skolnick, and we're still working to this day on Miyavi projects. And through that, Miyavi was looking for someone to tour with him and do background vocals for him while in Japan. And so I think it was 2017, I got brought over with him. And it was that was game over. I instantly fell in love with the country, and I started searching everything I could about the music and getting back in touch with, the visual cave phase that I had in high school and like all these things. I kind of set my sights like I have to live in Japan. I want to work more in Japanese music than I am in American music. And then 3 years later, here I am. I live here now, and it's been pretty close to perfectly a year. A year I've been living here about 2 weeks ago.
So you want to know something small world, Sean?
Yeah.
Mother's Day.
Okay.
Mother's Day 2018.
Okay.
You were backup singer for Miyavi in Seattle at Crocodile Cafe.
Oh my gosh.
And me and my whole radio crew saw you in concert.
Wow. Wow. Damn, that's amazing. Wow.
That was a really fun show.
That was an awesome show. And we were like, Miyavi sweated on me. We were right there. We were in the front row. We got there probably about 4 hours early and waited in line. But I remember as soon as you said you were on tour with Miyavi, and I'm like, oh, now I know why his face looks so familiar. You and that other gal that he had as a backup singer. Oh, you two are fabulous. You did a great job. That was a wonderful show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's funny. Yeah. I saw you in concert.
That's crazy. Yeah, I love it.
Wow, small world.
And I love Seattle. Really fun time. That was my first time ever in actual Seattle. I played Warped Tour, but it was on the outskirts, about like an hour outside of the city.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
That was
Small world. Wow.
Mother's
Well,
Day
good to see you again.
2018. That was our
Wow.
first show we went to officially as a radio station.
I remember seeing the logo for West Loves East, and I think
Yep.
that's where I saw it.
Yeah, we had big slide. We were trying to get him to say hi. And I begged and begged and begged the producers, the promoters for an interview, but we were such babies. You know, we were like, oh, well, we have 10,000 listeners worldwide. And they were like, that's not quite enough. Get back to us when you have 100,000.
To me, that's a ton, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that is so. Wait, the girls, this is far too early. So I have two other co-hosts that work with me, PD Amber and Kaya Grace. They are gonna jump out of their brains when I tell them the small world link. They're gonna be like, no way. Shin, what are you listening to in the morning to get you up and get you started?
Enya, I love Enya's music. Her voice is so beautiful. Her voice is more sounds like nature sound, you know, like wind, like the wind, you know. I always listen to her music when I get up, and actually when I sleep too. And it kind of like starts my day and kind of ends the day with her.
You, Sean, who's your go-to in the morning?
My go-to. You know, in the morning, I usually just put on How I Met Your Mother on the TV and drink coffee on the sofa. For me, it's more calming to listen to voices and things like that before I start making music. But I would say if I'm going for a walk or something like that, I'm still, you know, I will probably preach about this album till I die. But the Vines put out the Vines from Australia. They disappeared for a long time. And then they put out this incredible record. It just got no play. I don't think anybody knew it even came out. And I just randomly found it trying to revisit the Vines. And that is always my walking go-to album.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, I know. Send me the
new
link
one?
for it. You know what? We'll put it on the station. I'll put it on whichever station it fits.
Yes, please. Because
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
truly incredible.
Yeah.
What's the album called?
Do you guys mind if I look really quick?
Yeah, go
'Cause,
ahead.
In Miracle Land?
In Miracle Land. That's it.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
So you
Let me
heard that,
download it.
listeners. We're going to be adding the Vines in Miracle Land. I'll go look today and see what I have available to me.
Okay.
But really, that's the cool thing about owning radio stations. As soon as you hear about cool stuff, you just go, oh, cool. And then
Add.
add.
The way that this song that Shin and I are releasing came about. I think Shin and I both have examples of how the music industry has kind of screwed us over. And, you know, Shin sent over the track and the title is You Took Everything From Me. And the second I heard that chorus, I was just like, wow, I know exactly, like, I just, you know, people came to mind, stories came to mind. And I was like, I absolutely want to work on this track. And, you know, I feel like that's another way to open the conversation is just sit down at a piano and sing about what you feel. You know?
Thank you.
I know, isn't that wonderful?
That was nice of you, Sean. Thank you.
Okay, well, let's take a break and watch that video right now. This is You Took Everything From Me with Sean, Bowe, and Shin.
You took everything from me, all my hopes are gone. You took everything everything from me. All my hopes are gone. Took everything from me. Everything I worked so hard. Took everything from me. I never cried so hard. Took everything from me. Everything's all on you. You took everything from me. You took everything from me. You took everything from me. You took everything from me.
That video was amazing. Great job, guys. So let's talk for a minute about being a live performing artist.
All three of us can agree. Being in front of an audience and having that adulation flow at you, it's addictive.
It's so addictive.
It is.
Yeah.
That, oh, and you have those people cheering at you, right? And the nice and the not so nice about getting that is it makes you hungry for it, but it also makes you hungry for it.
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword. And how have you worked with that in your lives as to that crossover between, oh, I have all these fans adoring me, but I'm also just a normal, regular person. And did you find that difficult?
Oh man.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I mean, the number one thing that comes immediately to mind is, actually the tour that you saw me on. The end of that world tour was probably when I got home, and it was just like, everything's over, no more shows, back to the daily grind. That was probably the most depressed I've ever been in my entire life. Because it's kind of like you said, it's a drug, right? You wake up, you go on stage, you get the adrenaline rush of the crowd. Later that night you're with the crew and you're all enjoying, you're having a good time, and then you wake up early and you're on another flight and it's go, go, go for 2 months, 2.5 months. And then all of a sudden it just stops. And you don't know what you are, what you need to do with your life anymore. Like, it's so hard to just like turn that switch on and off of like, I am the stage person versus I am just this normal guy going to Chipotle to get a burrito. And so, yeah, it's really hard to just like, I don't think humans are made for that switch. I don't think we have that instinctually.
Yeah, I agree. How do you handle that transition, Shin?
The adrenaline rush and everything, like the shows, the fights that I had in MMA. I just think that as a gift, not like my normal life. Kind of like a gift from God that I'm just cherishing that one moment. And it's not an everyday thing, so that I can shift back to my normal grind, I guess, and just practice on my music or just train in the gym. And the fights that I have, or like the shows the tours, I try not to put that into like a work category, or like my daily life category. It's more like a special time gift kind of thing, so that
That's awesome.
I won't forget the
I
so
love
that I
that.
won't. Oh, really? Thanks.
That is
Yeah.
what
You kind of
that
forget
is.
to like appreciate.
That is a wonderful way to think about that. That I didn't even. If we think as every single performance as a gift.
Yeah, because like it's not that's there's so many people that's really cheering you. You have to appreciate that every moment, And that's not a normal thing. So
No, it's
you have to appreciate that. Yeah.
No, but in
I
our
love that.
So that's how
I love that. Yeah, that theory about that. That's just wonderful.
Thanks. But like Sean said that back in the days, like in my 20s, and I go tour and party and everything, and like think that like I'm a rock star and everything. And after the tour, I was depressed too. So
Yeah, see,
I know how you feel, dude.
This has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you, Seann, for spending your evening, my morning with us.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you, Shin, for spending time with us today.
Thank you.
I'm the Badger, and this was a West Lives East Radio Network podcast. Bye.